Now that we have our layers set up for our lower thirds project, it's time to do the typography. We're going to go ahead and add the type to our project. So we're going to put the name and title here of whoever's speaking, and then we're going to put our logo right here in this square. So let's start with selecting a typeface. I'm going to choose the type tool, looks like a letter T, and then I can choose the typeface right from here. You have a little sample of the typeface on the right. It's really too small to see. Now, generally, I do these with two different typefaces, but I want the typefaces to look fairly different from each other. So let's start with Corbel Bold. And then I'm going to go ahead and drag a marquee using the type tool with exactly where I want the type to appear. Now, type appears on its own layer. Notice the layer is right here. So right now, that layer is actually below the actual color. So let's put the layer on top so we can actually see the text. And now let's go ahead and type the name. And created an extra layer in the process, so I'll get rid of that. So there is the text. Now, I'm going to switch back to the Move tool. I'm going to position the text, and then I can actually hit Control T to allow me to stretch it. Now, you want to hold Shift while you do this, so you don't stretch the text in a way that distends it. And I'm going to use the arrow keys to position it exactly where I want. And there we go. We've got the name on our lower third. Click Apply. Perfect. Now, under this, I want to put the word Photoshop Instructor. Now, I want to use a different font for that, and obviously it's going to be smaller, and I'm going to use the color black to make it contrast. So again, I'll choose the Type tool. And since this is a sans serif font, meaning there's no little tails on the letters, let's choose a serif font that complements it. Oops, hit Escape. Let's do this on a new type layer. So we'll drag the type layer first right there. And now we can select the font. So let's get a nice kind of serif font. We can kind of sample them here, and you can always change this. We're going to use this Adobe Devanagari Bold, and let's type Photoshop Instructor. That looks pretty good. We're going to color it by selecting the text. Go ahead and clicking the color selector for text and choosing black. And now we can position it with Move, just like that. All right, so now we've got most of our type. But remember, we want to put the logo right here in this part of our lower third. I have our logo set, so I'm just going to drag it in from the folder and place it on the document. Now, our logo is probably not going to look great if I go ahead and put it in here like that. Too small. So what we can do, actually, is we can break the logo up a little bit so it fits better and looks more interesting. So I'm going to take this punk part of the logo, and I'm going to eliminate the rest of it. So the way to do that, first of all, I'll press Enter to place the logo on its own layer. Now, I can't do much with the layer because it comes in as a smart object. So I'm going to right-click on that layer, and then I'm going to choose Rasterize Layer, which essentially just makes the layer another set of pixels. Let's go ahead and erase the second part of the logo, the learning.com, so we just have the word punk. Careful when we do this. Looks like we almost got it. Good. And now I can place this in the logo area just like this. Make sure it fits. And again, we can zoom in so we can see what we're doing a little better. It looks like it's a little bit big. So with the layer selected, I'm going to hit Control T. Just like that. So now we've got the punk. I'll hit Control 0 to zoom out. And let's place that same file in here again, but then we'll get the second part of the logo and put it below. So this time, now again, on a separate layer, we're going to get the learning.com. So I'll press Enter. we're going to rasterize the layer, Control, right-click, rasterize layer, which now means it's just another set of pixels. We'll erase the punk this time, and then we'll move the learning.com into our logo area. So we're going to have to reduce the size, Control-T, which stands for transform, by the way, and then we can just kind of position it by eye. Yeah, that looks good. Let's move the punk down with the Move tool. And visually, I think we've got a fairly complete lower third here. We've got the name, we've got a contrasting font, and then we've got the actual logo. Now, your logo may look different, maybe better. You may want to change the shape of the white box to make it fit exactly. You might want to do some adjustments just by eye, like I'm doing right now, by clicking the Move tool a layer and using the arrow keys on my keyboard to move things exactly where I think they should go. All right, well, I think we've got the basics of our lower third. So now that we've got that, we're ready to finalize our lower third and export it for use in e-learning production or video or wherever we're actually going to use the lower third graphic. Let's go ahead and save, and we'll finalize in the next video.